Hey everyone, Karen here. I just wanted to take a few minutes and do a quick video for you guys. I know there's some people working on the PaperPad reference guide, and I wanted to kind of share with you how you can go and grab images off the internet. And one of the reasons why I did this was because I guess there was a few reasons. One was it was just easier. I felt like I could just go and search for the name of the PaperPad and find an image and quickly just grab it. And it just seemed like it was easier, especially when you consider that when you take a photograph with your phone and your camera, it's not going to be a really clean image. It may be that your lighting in your room could change the colors of that image, so you don't really get a true representation of the colors in your paper pad. So another thing is that sometimes when you take a picture with your camera, it's a rectangular picture. And the way that I did my reference guide, I made squares for my book. So, and because the paper pad itself, it's 12 by 12, so it is a square. It just made sense to me that I could, try to get those pictures that were probably provided by the manufacturer to these different websites that sell the paper pads. So some of the websites that I use are joann.com, michaels.com, scrapbook.com, but one of my favorite sites is actually cherryontop.com. And that particular website has really awesome pictures. The quality of the pictures are really good, and it's also extremely easy to download their pictures. Sometimes, like in the case of Michaels, the way that you have to go about getting the pictures can be a little confusing, and they make it more of a challenge to get that picture. And so I'm going to kind of show you a few different examples of different sites that I use and how I search for the pictures. And I'm hoping that this is going to help y'all to do this, because I really do think that if you're going to be creating the reference guide, you're using a computer already to print it out, it makes sense to just be able to go and quickly grab these images so that you can just add them to the Word document. And I think it's just easier, but I don't know, maybe it's just me. I like using the computer. So anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I have Google open here, and I'm using a Windows computer. But if you have an Apple Mac computer, it should be similar. You're just going to use, I think it's Safari for the browser. And what I'm going to do here is, let me go ahead and show you first an example of an easy one. So let's go ahead and I'm going to search for DCWV preserved paper. This is a paper pad that I have already. And the reason why I picked this one as an example is I knew that it was available at a Cherry on Top. And one of the things about Google is when you first search for something in Google, it's going to suggest to you at the top all of these places where you can purchase this. So, you don't necessarily have to go to these sites, or also you could go to images. So if you don't find anything that comes up here under the shopping area, you can click shopping to see more, or you can click images to look at just images. But if you have something that's fairly recent, more than likely you're going to find it at a site like a Cherry on Top or scrapbook.com or walmart.com or Amazon. So, okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to click on this, and it's going to open it up in this website, Cherry on Top. This is also a great place to go shopping for craft items. Okay, so what we're going to do is the image is going to come up here. It's a really nice image. It's square. And we're going to right click on that and save the image as. And then you're going to, find a location on your computer to store it. You can create a folder like what I did here. I just went to my documents, and then I created a folder called Craft Inventory, and this is where I store all the images of everything I'm inventorying. I have a category called Paper, or a folder called Paper, and then I have my paper divided by 6 by 6, 6 by 8, 12 by 12. So I'm in the 12 by 12 paper pads folder, and I'm just going to store this image. Now, one of the things I like to do, you don't have to do this, but I like to name the file so that I can find it later, because an image, you can't really search for an image. So if I go ahead and I put in the name of the manufacturer and then the name of the paper pad and name it, JPG, that's an image file. And you can see here it is an image file. And then I can just save that. So that will go ahead, and I have it already. I'm just going to replace on top of that. One of the things to keep in mind, though, is if you go to save a file from the web, and it doesn't have an extension of JPG, PNG, or BMP, more than likely not. It is not an image, okay? And I'm going to go through that with showing you an example from Michaels, because Michaels is a little bit of a challenge. Now, most of the time, I don't go to Michaels to grab an image, but if you have a paper pad that's like, say, a Hot Buy paper pad, Craftsmart, Craftsmith, Recollections, those are only available at Michaels. The only place you're going to find an image is at Michaels, probably, unless you can find someone who has uploaded an image, like for instance to Etsy or eBay, or maybe they just have it on their blog. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at an example of how we would get a paper pad image from Michaels. If we go over here to this one, we're going to type in Recollections, and let's try Sweet Ambrosia, because I know for sure that one is Michaels. I actually do have this paper pad. And you're going to see here the very first one here. They have some images here, but it's going to go to Michaels anyway. The first link on here is actually Michaels. So I'm going to click that. And it's going to take me to Michaels and this paper pad, and you're going to see the image here. Well, if you right click on this image and you click Save As, it's not going to save it as a JPG. It's going to use HTML. Okay, I'm going to cancel that. Now, if I try to go to click this, let's see, can I double click? No, that's Joanne's. I'm going to get confused on which ones I can do. Okay, so we are going to do that. Okay, we're going to go here and I'm going to click Save As. It's going to come up and it's going to save as an HTML. HTML is actually a web page, so it's not an image. But if you download this web page, you can get the image, and I'm going to show you all how to do that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and save this HTML page, and it's going to save to my computer. Now down here, this is a Google thing. It's showing me all of the things that are downloading. If I click here, I can go show in folder, and I can bring up the folder that it downloaded it to. Now you could also just go to File Explorer, and we can go over to our documents, craft inventory, paper, 12 by 12, and then here is the folder. Now, the very first thing you'll see here is a folder. Now, when you save that HTML file, it's putting it into this folder. If we double click on the folder, you're going to see a whole bunch of files in here, and there should be some image files included. And you're going to see there's actually 3 image files. There's this little bitty one, and if we just leave our mouse over this image, it's going to tell us the dimensions of the image is 140 by 140. If we go to this one, it's going to be 1024 by 1024, and if we go to this one, it's 540 by 540. Okay, so the larger the number, the better the image. It's a better, higher resolution. So we're going to pick the biggest one, and I'm just going to take that file, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to rename it. So I'm just going to go to the rename, which is down here at the bottom. Another way you can rename a file in Windows is hit the F2 key. That's a shortcut. I'm trying not to use shortcuts though, because I think that would confuse people because you can't see what I'm doing on the screen. I'm just hitting a key. But as a shortcut, you can just hit F2 and it'll take you right to here where you can rename the file. So we're going to name this Recollections Sweet Ambrosia. And go ahead and just name that. Okay, I've just pressed enter. And now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this file over into our 12 by 12 paper pad. So I'm just going to copy it, and then I'm going to click here, right click, and click on paste. Now another short, and I already have it, so I'm just going to say I can either skip the file. I'm just going to replace on top of the one that's there. Okay, and so here it is right here. You can use Control C to copy a file and Control V as in Victor to paste it. So that's kind of a shortcut as well. Alright, so that's how to do it from Michaels. Now once you have the file copied into your 12 by 12 paper pad folder, you can go up here to this and just delete it. So I'm just going to delete that, and it's going to get rid of it because you don't need that. The only reason we downloaded the HTML was so that we could get to the image file. And so that's how you would do it from Michaels. Now, not a lot of people actually buy the what is it, hot buy paper pads. And so I just wanted to kind of give you an example of how that works, because you might get confused if you try to just go and save the image that they have there, because it doesn't work the same way as a lot of other websites. Okay, so let me show y'all another example. I know a lot of people shop at Joann, so if you buy a paper pad from Joann.com, you can actually go out to their website and also look at their paper pads and grab an image, but it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so let's go ahead and look for, trying to think of one that I bought from here. I think I got this one called I don't know if that's available anymore though. Let's see. See if we can find this one. Excuse me. Well, we can just pick any one. Let's just say I have this one right here. It's pretty. I don't have it, but it's pretty. So this is a subtle and sophisticated premium cardstock stack. And here's the image. If I was to right click on this image and save as, I get the HTML. Okay, so you could do the same thing that we did at Michael's, but that's going to take you a lot more steps. I'm going to show you a shortcut. At Joann.com, if you double click on that image, it's going to bring up another window. Now Michael's site doesn't do this, it's just Joann's. And you're going to get this image, and you can right click and you can click save as image or save image as, and we can just go ahead and save this. I'm just going to put this one I don't have, because I don't want to get myself confused and think I have something I don't have. Alright, so we'll have that image there. I'm trying to think if there's any other. Oh, I know what I wanted to show y'all. I wanted to show y'all how you can do searches on Google to make it easier so you can make sure you get the best image possible. So let's go ahead and go back to Google. And I'm going to show you a couple of things with the Google search. So say for instance we want to search for, I'm just going to say dark florals, and go here to this one, and you're going to see that we're going to get a lot of things, even like fabric and stuff. So one of the things you want to kind of do when you're doing this is put in more words. You can use 12 by 12 if you're looking for a 12 by 12, use 6 by 6 if you're looking for 6 by 6. Put more descriptions here in there. Make sure you put the brand if you know what it is, because that's going to really limit the search and give you better results. So the more things you put in there and describing what you're looking for, the better your results are going to be. Now I think this is not coming up because I'm using the wrong brand. I think the manufacturer here is actually Craftsmith. And I'm still not seeing it. Is it this one? I think it might be. Let's see. Oh yeah, Craftsmith Dark Floral. Okay, so this is one I think that is probably no longer available at Michael's, and so you're not going to be seeing it, and so it's going to make it a little bit more of a challenge to find it. So what I like to do is I like to go to Images, and then once you get to Images, there's a couple of things you can do. But if you go over to I believe it's Tools, yeah, Tools, you're going to get this extra drop down little categories that you can search on. And I'm going to click on size. I want to search for the ones that are the largest files that I can find. And if you can't find a large file, you can kind of go down to a medium or small, but your print quality is going to be much, much better if you can get a larger file. And so you're going to see here that the one that came up first is actually this one from Amazon. So we can try that one out. Let's go ahead and click on that and see if we can pull this up. Okay, so now we're getting an image from Amazon. And I think with Amazon, I can double click. Yes, it's going to be the same as Joann's. And when you're working with these different websites, that you maybe haven't used before, just try different things like double clicking to see if you get a new window that pops up, or right clicking on it to see if you get the save as, and you can get like a save as a JPG or PNG. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to click on save image as and save the image. So that's kind of how you work with the different websites to download images. And let me think if there was anything else I wanted to mention. I kind of think that maybe covered everything. I hope I didn't go too fast for you guys, But if you are trying this and you're trying to search for these images and download them and you run into issues, just post a question in this Facebook group and I'll try to see if I can help y'all out, because it can get a little bit challenging because every website is different depending on how it was built. Now, I actually was a computer programmer and I did development on web applications. And so I'm kind of familiar with how all this stuff works. And it kind of helps me with being able to do this because, it's not very difficult because I kind of understand how websites work and what HTML files are. But I know a lot of people out there, it gets really confusing for you guys if you're not used to working with computers and especially with websites. So that's all I had for this video. I hope this helps some people out there that are trying to create these reference guides. And again, if you have questions, post it in the Facebook group. And if you want me to do another video showing you how to do something else, just put that in the Facebook group too, and I'll try to see if I can do that for you guys. Okay, that's all I had. Bye now.